So last week I managed to make the most boring game development log of all time. Part of the reason for that is because I didn't really have anything to show. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing on the game is like in the background. It's stuff that I just need to do to make the game work. It's not very visual. So this week we're going to be doing some zombie stuff. Now what I want this game to be is kind of a fun little zombie survival game. You've basically got 1 hour to keep 5 people alive at the same time. And keep them alive from zombies. And you've got a few different mechanics at your disposal to kind of help you on this mission. Now one is that you can grab objects, and you'll see why in a second. You can use these objects to barricade up doorways to prevent zombies coming out basically. And you can get characters to follow you, which is actually in your interest because you want to keep them safe. The more people you can keep safe, the fewer zombies there's going to be, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to then not become a zombie. You can also bash zombies over the head with any of the objects that you can use to barricade up doors. And that is kind of it. It's going to obviously escalate as you get more and more zombies. There's going to be a few surprises along the way, but essentially it's a zombie survival game. Stay alive for 1 hour and you can barricade doors to keep zombies in or out. Now, most of last week was spent doing this barricade system because one thing that I really needed to be possible was that if, say, there's a zombie in this doorway, they need to be able to bash on the door, which is fine. The hard bit comes with the fact that I want a zombie to be able to pound on this door even if I'm not there to see it. So if I'm looking at one of these other characters, I still need the zombie on this screen to be kind of pounding on the door, otherwise when you come back nothing will have changed. And that was harder than it sounds. I'm sure on something like Unity maybe you can have lots of different levels essentially playing at the same time in the background. With this, not so easy. I needed to kind of well, I'll show you. So if I just tick this box here, which is going to pretend that there is a zombie in that bar trying to get out, and then go to this character, you can see what it's done. It's kind of created a simulation of that other door. And it's going to loop through a few doors in the game. It's only going to care about the doors where actually someone is, where there's a zombie at the door trying to break out. There we go. You kind of saw how it's bashing. Eventually, the zombie would bash the door down to a point where this barricade isn't really high enough and it won't count as locked anymore. So if I just take a few out, you can see that doesn't count as locked, and that other character just went in that door because they were free to do that because it's not locked. If I put a few more objects there, you can see that that's now locked, and if I go back again it would kind of simulate that. And I had to create this simulation. You can see this these red blocks are the objects. I didn't need to render what they look like. It's all going to be invisible. You're not going to see any of this. Oh, you can see there's a little NPC at the window there. If I go outside, she should be there. Yeah, she's at the window, so that's my bedroom window. And if I go back, she should possibly still be at the window. Yeah, she's just gone. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. This kind of orange, oh, you can see it's bashed enough now that that's now not locked, and a zombie would be able to get in or out of that door. As I say, I had to create that kind of simulation for every single door in the game, and there are a lot, and I had to do it inside and out. And some of the doors have kind of different setups. So for example, this one, you can see it's got this kind of diagonal area because we need to actually board up this diagonal facing door. And all these blue lines are the sort of invisible locks in the whole game. So this one here might be a particular door in the game. This one's a different door, and it's basically showing me all the doors and their positions on the level in all the different levels. It sounds more complicated than it is, but it was a lot of work to set up. This Gamedev log wasn't supposed to be boring. I'm being boring again. It's basically you can barricade doors. You've probably noticed that there aren't any zombies in the game. Part of the reason for that is that there's going to be a lot of different characters in this game. Maybe 100 different designs. And all of them can turn into zombies. So what I really don't want is for me to like create all these zombies and then decide, actually I prefer their skin to be a slightly different shade of green. It's not gonna I'm then going to have to do that to all the zombies in the game. So I want to be really sure that whatever design I come up with, that's the design that I want to use. And we'll just have to see. But today I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to design a character. I have actually designed one zombie. So it's the zombie version of this punk guy here. He's called Grimes. I've designed the zombie version for him. We might change it. Typical that he would like walk behind another character when I'm trying to show you. I've designed the zombie character for him. If I right click on him, which you won't be able to do in the game, it's just for me, you can see there's the zombie version. It's too small, and I'm not 100% sure about the design yet, but I'm going to do a few today and we'll kind of see where we get. So I think I'm actually going to start again with the zombie version. It's okay, but it wasn't a lot of work and it's not great. It was just kind of to test the zombie system, really. It's going to look pretty cool when there's loads of zombies walking around. I think it'll really help me kind of picture the game a bit more. At the moment, like on social media and stuff, I keep saying it's a zombie game and there's like nothing to suggest that in the screenshots and stuff. I think the green I've really got to get right. I don't know if I go too green. The problem with this sort of sickly yellow colour was that you couldn't really, on a lot of screens, you couldn't really tell that it was supposed to be a zombie. I've had a bit of an identity crisis with the game. I've decided to change the name of it. At the moment it's called Project Reset, which I like. I do really like that name, but it doesn't really mean a lot, and I think with my marketing head on, it just doesn't make sense to call it that. It doesn't give a lot away about what the game is and stuff. So I kind of fiddled around with a few different ideas. Oh, also there's a game already called Project Reset, which is fine. I'm sure they haven't copyrighted it. It's just a game that someone's made. But then the thing that was kind of the last straw is there's actually a game called Project Zomboid, which I was just like, oh no, I can't call it Project Reset, and it's about zombies. And there's this other pretty popular game that I hadn't heard of called Project Zomboid. The weird thing is this came out way before I even decided that this was going to be a zombie game. Project Reset was just going to be this other thing, and then I decided it was going to be a zombie game. And then Project Zomboid is actually a very similar concept to what I'm doing, except mine is going to be a bit more kind of arcade, kind of silly mechanics. This is very in depth. It's almost like The Sims with zombies. Mine's going to be just kind of silly, frantic, fun, kind of maybe like Overcooked, or that kind of just crazy game where you spin in plates and you got a lot going on. So one of the first ideas I had, my dad once said bod daddies instead of dead bodies, and I thought maybe I could call it bod daddies. It's just ridiculous. And then I thought maybe just deadies, and it's just too stupid. I don't like it. Maybe someone braver than me could just make a game called Deadies, but I just can't do it. I take my stuff too seriously. Then I thought Zombie Party. I really liked Zombie Party, but there's a game called Zombie Party. I was like, damn, I really liked that because it kind of summed up, it's about zombies, but it's also just fun and silly, and so I then came up with Zom Party, which I do like. I do kind of like that, and there isn't a game called that. There's something about it that just doesn't sit right with me. I think it's overly simplistic. It's not just about zombies. There are other surprises along the way. Zom Party just didn't quite work for me. I've now settled on the final name, which I'll probably reveal a little bit closer to launch. Just because I'm sick of people nicking my names for my games, even though they make them like years before I even started making this game. Anyway, back to the zombie. See, I've got to be really careful with this green because I really don't want to have to change this for like 100 zombies if I decide later down the line that I don't like this green. Or even just like, so for example, I might mess around with the eyes. I'm thinking about maybe some really big empty eyes to really differentiate them from the other characters in the game. I kind of like that, but then if I decide, actually I'd quite like them to be even bigger than that, or smaller, or whatever, again, it's 100 zombies potentially that I'm going to have to sit there and update, and I just got to do it, haven't I? There's no real way around it. I was also toying with the idea of maybe like red instead of the normal sort of brownish colour. There's just something about red eyes that inherently they just instantly look evil, don't they? And I kind of like these sort of big empty eyes. Let's have a look at these zombies in Plants vs Zombies. I always try not to take too much inspiration from stuff, because then you just either copy it or purposely avoid it. Let's have a look. I spelt that so wrong because I can't see because my big fat face is in the way. Okay, I do really like that, but it would be weird for them to suddenly get really, really ugly. Like if he just started having teeth sticking out and stuff, I don't know if that would work. I did toy with the idea of maybe like having maybe one of the eyes a bit droopy. Oh no. Why the new Photoshop always puts this black stroke around everything. Well, mine does anyway. Yeah, I'm not really keen on that. It just looks like I've put a green box over it, which I have. So I kind of like that. If he'd been dead in the ground for a long time, like a lot of zombies are, he'd maybe have his clothes a bit ripped and lots of dirt on him and stuff. On this version I've got his brain hanging out a little bit and a scar. I think I like that. I think I'm already happier with that than I am with that. I've decided my dream for this game is that I'll go to the seaside one day and there will be like plush knockoff toys of these characters. That'd be when I know I've made it. Being on camera for making games really doesn't feel natural for me. I don't mind talking about stuff that I know a lot about. I feel like I know quite a lot about writing. That's what this channel was originally. It's now just a channel where I can do anything, talk about anything creative that I might be doing. But with games, I'm not a massive gamer. I don't really know a lot about making games. I'm making a game. That's it. And I have made games in the past. But in terms of like what makes something fun, like I hope that I can make this really fun, and I'm going to try and I've watched loads and loads of videos about how to make games fun and stuff like that. But essentially, I have no idea what I'm doing. See, I actually made that scar green by accident there, but I kind of like it. Slightly more subtle. The other thing about being on camera when you're doing stuff like this is, like, maybe you preferred it when the eyes were dark brown. Maybe you prefer the scar red. I'm probably going to go with green. I'm just overthinking everything way too much. But I do kind of like that. Slightly more subtle. I think I'm going to do the brain cutout thing. Am I happy with that green? I should probably fiddle with it a tiny bit more. See, I kind of like the slightly more yellowy green. It looks a bit more infected. I should really probably be streaming this to Twitch or something. This is the thing, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to market a game. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing by showing you what I'm doing. All I can do is try. I'm actually going to stop this recording now and move over to Twitch. So I actually went on Twitch for a bit to do some streaming of what I'm up to. No one was watching. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know anything about streaming or anything really. So I'm back on YouTube, and here is I did a little brain, cut out the brain, and then I flipped him, and obviously when he's flipped, the brain would be on the other side, and you would see more of it because it's kind of this side. So there's that. Not 100% happy with it. Don't really know how to improve it just yet. It's the kind of thing I just need to come back tomorrow, look at it, and I'll be like, whoa, that's bad. But now we've got a zombie that we can put in the game, so let's do that. You can wishlist the game on Steam now, which would really help me out. It's free, you just sort of tick to say you're interested, link in the description. I was really hoping this devlog would be a bit more interesting, and I don't think it is, and I think it's because I'm really enjoying making this game, but I'm just so new to it. I have no idea what is entertaining. All I can really do is just be myself and hope that you enjoy watching. In my head, this devlog was going to be way more snappy. I've seen a lot of really good devlogs. It was just going to be like really choppy and stuff. But all I can really do is make my game and show you what I'm doing, and I don't really think that I can do any more than that. Hopefully you're enjoying. I mean, if you're listening to me saying this sentence, which obviously you are, otherwise you wouldn't know that I'm saying it, then you must be at least kind of interested in what I'm doing. So thank you so much for sticking around this far. Let's get this new zombie Grimes in there. This one should be the right size. Yeah, there we go, you can see it's the right size. And I'm going to put this, what we call hotspot, in the same place. Okay, let's see him in the game. So there he is, and pop. There we go. Yeah, I'm a lot happy with that. I want an animation for when someone becomes a zombie, so they're not a zombie and then they become one. I'm still not 100% sure about it, and that's why I've been so reluctant to start it, because I really don't want to have to make big changes for 100 NPCs. I will fiddle with this for like a few weeks until I decide to go full all guns blazing with all the other NPCs. But I'm pretty happy with that. One thing I really do want to do is kind of raise the arms so they're in front of him. I think that'll look much more zombified. At the moment it's a bit stale, a bit static. There's not a lot of character animation in the game, and that's kind of a conscious choice because I just know it would look bad because I can't do that. But there we go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you got something from this devlog. If not, I apologise. Hope you like the look of the game, and I'll see you in the next one.